Today is Monday of Holy Week, and as Holy Week begins, I felt moved to take some time each day to consider the profound meaning of Jesus' death for us by reflecting on the 7 times he spoke from the cross. Yesterday, all over the world, Christians were celebrating and remembering Palm Sunday, the moment when Jesus came into Jerusalem as people laid down their robes for his donkey to walk on and waved palm branches, shouting, "Blessed is the King who comes in the name of the Lord." But within less than a week, Jesus was hanging on a cross at Calvary. People were sneering, and one of the criminals being crucified next to him was also even just hurling insults at him. What a dizzying and extraordinary turnaround. We're living in a time of great turmoil and change, and lots of us are experiencing extraordinary anxiety as a result of the global pandemic and now the war in Ukraine. We're living in a cultural moment of huge and shocking loss. But at the cross, that's where we encounter Jesus as God with us. Even in our disorientation, he knows what that is. He goes from being hailed as a king and adored by crowds to being reviled and sneered at within the matter of just a few days. Luke's Gospel records for us what the eyewitnesses saw as Jesus was crucified. He talks about 2 other men, both criminals, were being led out to be executed with him at the place called the Skull. And the people stood watching, and even the rulers sneered at him, and they said, "He saved others, let him save himself if he's God's Messiah, the chosen one." And then the Gospel records for us these stunning words. One criminal next to him joins in with the insults, but the other one says this, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." And Jesus' words ring through 2,000 years of history to us when he says, "I tell you the truth, today you will be with me in paradise." That's Luke 23 verse 43. Here we see an insight into the heart of God and his purpose in coming. He's come, as Luke put it earlier in his gospel, to seek and save that which was lost. Even as he hangs dying on a cross, hearing the mockery and obscenity of those passing by, Jesus is not self-centered. He's not concentrating his intellectual and emotional energy solely on the work of the moment. He is so full of love and so motivated by the salvation of every person that he can even love the man hanging next to him. This is why Jesus is dying, so that we can be with him, in relationship with him. And when we die, we can be with him in paradise. And that is true today. Luke loves that word today. He uses it more than 20 times in his gospel and in the book of Acts. And that's more than the rest of the New Testament put together uses that word. Luke notices how much Jesus cared about today. Today, you can be with Jesus. And that is why Jesus came into this world as God with us. And that is why he died. God knows that by our own efforts, we can never be clean or right enough to truly be with him. But this is what Jesus has come to do in his death, to bring us into relationship with God today. Notice how little the thief on the cross does. He doesn't have time to do some good deeds to earn God's favour. Notice a few other things about him. He's lived a sinful life, and he says, we're being punished justly. We're getting what our deeds deserve. Notice how little theology he's had time to learn. But Jesus says, today you can be with me in paradise. Jesus responds to the man's faith. This is personal for you and for me. Perhaps we feel isolated and lost in this cultural moment of isolation and alienation and fear. But the God who is adored and praised by crowds calls us personally by name to enter into his heavenly kingdom and be with him in paradise. I wonder if in this first day of Holy Week, as we think about those words from the cross, today you will be with me in paradise. I wonder if you have assurance of this personally. Do you know that overwhelming reality of that truth that Christ calls you his own today? Why not spend a moment asking for that revelation to sink in, that the cross is for you, that you can be with Jesus? Why not ask him for that assurance in this moment that today you can be with him and in the future with him in paradise?